It actually helps with conservation, conserve. Because Nanny Wawa was actually trying to help the environment. Oh, that was Margaret Mitchell. Yeah, well, yeah, her name was Margaret Mitchell, but she was trying to help the environment, conserve energy. That's what the soil conservation. She worked for that company. I read some of the stuff in her. It's like a file cabinet. It was like typed journals of soil conservation, of how to conserve soil in a better way. That's what the woman is, though. The woman is the soil. The man is the germ. See, the woman is the soil. The man is the germ. And Nanny, she conserves soil, because without proper soil, especially in places in Texas, we can't get fresh produce. So she did have a garden that Margaret Mitchell, which was my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother was Margaret Mitchell. That's really her name. She did work for a soil conservation company in Texas for a very long time. She eventually had Ann Mitchell, which was my grandmother, who was married to Papa Joe, who was an Apache. I'm actually Apache. I'm a quarter Apache. Or actually, I'm 1/8. My mother's a quarter. My Papa Joe, my grandfather, was half Apache. My mother is a quarter Apache, and I'm 1/8 Apache, and I'm Irish and English. I'm right split down the middle, Irish and English, and then a quarter of Apache. I don't have much Apache in me. I don't think enough. It's probably enough to be on a tribal scroll and get free college, but it's from Looney. The last name is Looney, and that's on my mom's side. So since that can be traced, I could probably get free education and things like that. I could probably even live on a reservation if I wanted to. Anyway, that's the story of Margaret Mitchell. Now, whether it's really Margaret Mitchell from Gone with the Wind, Margaret Mitchell, well, that means that she would have to fake her death in Atlanta, which I've been there. I've been to Atlanta, Georgia. Margaret Mitchell, the writer, was obsessed with sex. She was obsessed with pornography. So she'd read all this pornography and look at all this pornography. And the rumor was she did an Apache dance at it's recorded history. She did a dance, an Apache dance, during some event that was going on in Atlanta. She's also one of the award-winning Atlanta women writers from Atlanta. I've written like 7 books and stuff. It's in my blood. Now, whether Margaret Mitchell that was in Haltom faked her death and moved out there, or whether that's really Nanny Wawa and just Margaret Mitchell with the same name, coincidence, doesn't really matter, because the last name is Mitchell, and in some way or another they're related. Okay? It could be. And what's really weird, one of the photos I have, and this is really weird, really fucking weird. I was looking at some of the photos of Nanny Wawa that I have. I have several of them. One was one with a Siamese cat. There is a photo of her. She would go out to California. This is real. Okay? I'm not lying. She would go out to California. Nanny had money. We all knew that. She'd give me some of the money. I'd mow her lawn for like $20. I actually could have been mowing the lawn to the writer of Gone with the Wind in Haltom. But she'd go out to California. And there's a man that's on a boat, and I have the photo. It looks exactly like Sandy Meisner, the acting teacher. Now, whether it is Sandy Meisner, I had a book on Sandy Meisner. I got rid of it because his technique is so harsh. But whether it was really Sandy Meisner, I don't know. But I have that photo, and it looks exactly like him. And they're on a boat, like going towards like an island. And it would make sense that Sandy Meisner would be in the presence of Margaret Mitchell before she actually really died. Okay? And since it's highly illegal to fake your own death, then no one would know about it. Not even her new husband. You know, see, I think I'm trying to do the research on it, but I think that maybe they did meet close to Atlanta or maybe outside of Texas, and he may have known. But this was a new life she created. Women have done this. They have faked their own death to get away from the old life and to move on to a new life. It's highly illegal because of insurance purposes and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, Nanny Walla did have money, and her bathroom looked like a movie star's bathroom. Everybody knows this. She had bonbons all over the place. She'd eat bonbons all day and smoke cigarettes. That's all she ever did. She ate bonbons and smoked cigarettes. My mom actually ran off with her when she divorced my dad, and Nanny took her around and got her to divorce my dad. And I was with them. I want to make like a little short film or film about it. But my mom came in when I was in second grade. And let me turn around this way. And I was in second grade. And she took me off. And Nanny and my mom, Nanny Walla, Margaret Mitchell, and my mom, we went running around Texas, running from my dad, who was a well-known, famous jewelry salesman for Lone Star Casting. He also started Eutectic Metals. He was a millionaire in the 80s. And we were running around, and she was smoking cigarettes. We were jumping hotel rooms, running from my dad and his process servers and his constables and the police that he sent out after my mom to try to get Teresa and I back. Finally, my mom gave up, surrendered us back to my dad. He got more custody, which he shouldn't have, because my dad was very abusive. He abused methamphetamine, just like Johnny Cash, and he ran that business into the ground because of meth. Because of speed. He did speed to stay up, to work the business, like most guys back in the 80s did. Not cocaine, it was like an upper. He did an upper to stay up, which could be a reason I'm so fucked up, because the son pays for the sins of the father. The sins of the father leads over to the son, which is in a play called Ghost, if you ever read Ibsen. It's also, I think, in the Bible. But about Margaret Mitchell, to get back to that, is that if she did do it, I think that she would fake the death using another body, which would be a lover of hers. And that would be a reason at that point she said, I'm moving on. She lost her lover in Atlanta, who was a lesbian lover. She decided to bury her, maybe closed casket, maybe she did the whole Romeo and Juliet and just laid in the casket and didn't breathe. Or they knew she was faking her death and she was like a movie star kind of lady, and they just let her go because she had that kind of power. And she ran off to Texas to remarry. Now, probably during the process or even earlier, she met Ann Mitchell's, Ann Mitchell was her daughter. She met her husband in her new life. But she was so damn arrogant that she, there's a new house right there. She was so damn arrogant and very much like me that she never changed her name. She just said, fuck it. They're not going to come after me. I'm Margaret Mitchell. They just left her alone. She probably met some other man and then had Granny Ann in that process, which was Ann Mitchell, and moved over to that other life and went to Texas, because writers do this shit, and just kept her name. Her husband left her alone, and she started a new life with a new man and was a soil conservationist, meaning she worked as a secretary in this office that did soil conservation. It was really weird. She always had a typewriter, a Royal typewriter. I wrote my first short story on that Royal typewriter. And she had this Royal typewriter in her room in the back. It was sitting there always, just collecting dust, as if she was going to write another novel. She only wrote Gone with the Wind. And I think I may have secretly gone through those files when she was still alive to see if I could find any material on a possible sequel for Gone with the Wind, or something that was not file related to her soil conservation job. And I didn't find anything, not even a letter. She did have a pen, and she did write by hand, but she just kind of gave up that life of fiction. She completely threw it away, completely, and just started over, which people can do. Now, you'd have to do the research. So if you dig up the body of Marsh, if you wanted to, and you had some kind of proof in that, that it wasn't her body. You can dig up the other body that's in East Texas or wherever she's buried if you want to go that crazy to find out if I'm lying. To see if the real Margaret Mitchell faked her death, moved to Texas, and lived in Haltom for the remainder of her life, and had an affair during her life in Atlanta with another man. Now, the one thing about Nanny Wawa is she did wear her hair up. And in Margaret Mitchell's, a lot of the photos, her hair is up. The lips are different, but when you age, your lips actually can become fuller and change a little bit. Her lips are actually fuller than Margaret Mitchell's lips. But your face does change as you get older. It does actually. The cartilage actually changes. You change in positioning. I mean, in not just positioning. You do change in your position, as in posture and all that kind of stuff. But you also change physically as you grow into your 70s. So she may have had this illegitimate child, which possibly could have been Ann Mitchell, which she made legitimate by leaving her old life behind and then transferring over to Margaret Mitchell in Haltom. I don't know 100% if it's true. It's a theory, but the photo that I have that looks exactly like the guy that looks exactly like Sandy Meisner is very strange, because Sanford Meisner was very strange. And he would want to be around this kind of thing, to study her behavior, because she was a great liar. I don't know. And there's some craziness within our family. Man, that thing is bothering me.